Who's we? I just counted one of you.
I like being close to you.
Well, believe me, it's been a while since a girl said that to me. Too bad you're tiny and not your actual human being. Kinda weird looking too.
You're so warm and squishy.
Well, that was a new one, but it was true. Or at least the sushi part was. He has been eating like an elephant ever since Amber broke up with him. He had always been a big eater, but this was different. I think you're a good influence on me.
Take me home with you.
Might do that, little dolly. It's almost like you were left here as a present for me. But who would have left it for him? He looked again at the doll ballerina body and strange mask-like face. A weird present, but I don't know. I kinda like you.
We like you.
So the feeling is mutual. Nothing attached. Time to finish a nap. Stanley was at Luigi's spaghetti house, eating at the table by himself. He was cutting the spaghetti into little sticks with his butter knife, which used to drive Amber crazy. But Stanley and Amber weren't eating together anymore. She was sitting at a cozy table in a corner with a handsome, well-dressed man. They were talking and laughing and feeding each other bites off their plates. It was like he was invisible. Stanley looked around the dining room to avoid looking at Amber and her new boyfriend. At the head of the room, where there was usually a piano, was a casket. Stanley's dad lay inside it, his shrunken cheeks too rosy with makeup, where the mortician has tried to disguise his death pallor. Everywhere he looked, Stanley saw someone he had loved and lost. He looked down at his plate to avoid seeing anyone else. His spaghetti has turned into a tangle of withering, wiggling worms.
The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. The eater's guts spit them out.
Stanley remembered the gruesome song from the playground when he was a kid, but now his childhood was gone. His dad was gone. Amber was gone. Why did everything good have to go away? He picked up his plate of worms and hurled it across the room. Stanley woke up, gasping for breath. It's okay, he told himself. It was just a bad dream. It was just 5 minutes until his shift was over, and the doll that has been on the desk was gone. It was strange. Nobody but him was ever in here. Who would have come into the security office and taken it? Maybe the same person who had come in and left it in the first place? Whoever that was. For a split second, he was considering filing a report about it, but realized there was no way he could. What could it say? Fell asleep at my post at 3:02 a.m. Woke to find the doll on my desk. Fell back to sleep. Woke up, and it was gone. That was a quick way to get fired. If Amber were still around, he would have a story to tell about something interesting that happened at work for once. Wait till I tell Amber, and then remember that there was no Amber to tell. He emerged from the stairs to the day that was bright and sunny. After staying in a dark hole for 8 hours, it always took his eyes a few minutes to adjust to the insanity of the daylight. He squinted and blinked like a mole that just popped up from his underground tunnel. Stanley crossed the street to the city diner, sat down in his usual red vinyl booth, and turned his upside-down coffee cup into the upright position. Almost as if by magic, Katie the server was there to fill it. Stanley knew a little about Katie from making small talk with her. He was around his age and was taking some classes at the community college now that her son has started preschool.
You want the e-show this morning, Stan?
Actually, I think I might take a look at the menu today, Katie. If he was going to make healthier choices, he might as well start now. though it was hard to do with the irresistible smell of bacon wafting through the diner.
Changing it up this morning, are we?
I thought I might. He scanned the menu, looking for healthier options. None of them sounded as tasty as his usual order, but if he was going to get less squishy, he was going to have to make some sacrifices. I think I'll take the mushroom egg white omelette with the turkey sausage and whole wheat toast.
I'm impressed. Going on a diet, are we?
He smiled and patted his belly. I'm thinking about it. After Katie left to put in his order, Stanley let us graze around the restaurant. In the last booth in the corner, an old man sat nursing a cup of coffee and reading the newspaper. He was at the city diner every morning, always alone, lingering over coffee long after his breakfast plate has always been cleared. Stanley could feel the old man's loneliness just as surely as he could feel his own. He wondered now that Amber had dumped him if his fate was the same as the old man.
Here you go.
The egg white omelette was surprisingly decent, but when Stanley tried to eat his whole wheat toast, he had difficulty swallowing it. His throat had gotten sore suddenly, and felt as if it must be swollen partially shut. It was odd. He couldn't remember the last time he had a sore throat. He pushed his breakfast plate away.
Does the healthy stuff not taste as good? You're usually a member of the Clean Plate Club.
No, it's good, Stanley said, his voice coming out croaky. My throat's just really sore. Makes it hard to eat.
Well, there are all kinds of bug goings around. Lots of kids and teachers are out sick at my little boy's preschool. I hope you're not coming down with anything.
Me too. On the way home, he stopped at the drugstore and bought some sore throat lozenge. He popped one as soon as he paid for them. Swallowing was becoming more and more painful and difficult. When Amber had come over on a daily basis, Stanley has always kept the department reasonably clean. Now when he walked into it, it felt like a double nasty surprise. There was a mess. There was also the meaning behind the mess. It was a reminder that Amber was gone. The coffee table was cluttered with half-empty soda cans, hamburger wrappers, fried chicken boxes, and Chinese takeout containers. Dirty laundry was scattered in random places of the floor. Part of him wanted to clean it up, but the rest of him said, why does it even matter? She's not coming back. There's nobody here but me to see the mess. Stanley unwrapped throat lozenge and popped it into his mouth. He was definitely getting sick. Great. That was just what he needed. One more thing to make his life still more miserable. His mom has always been a big believer in steam when he or his sister was coming down with a cold, so he decided to take a hot shower. If congestion was what was causing his sore throat, breathing in some steam might help. Taking off his security uniform short, he had a hard time pulling his left arm out of his sleeve. Once he finally got his shirt off, he could see the problem. His left arm was swollen to nearly twice the size of his right one. The arm felt weird too, numb like when a foot falls asleep. He shook his arm around, trying to wake it, but it still lacked sensation. What kind of bizarre illness gave you a sore throat and a numb, swollen arm? He was no doctor, but he knew those two symptoms don't go together. Stanley turned up the shower temperature as hot as he could stand it. When he held his left arm under the nozzle spray, he could feel neither the heat nor the drops of water hitting his skin. After he got out of the shower, he put on a t-shirt and sweatpants, took 2 ibuprofen, popped another lozenge, and crawled into bed. Whatever this illness was, maybe rest would fix it.